You've been here before, staring at your phone, waiting for a message that doesn't come, wondering if you said too much, cared too deeply, gave too freely. You tell yourself you're fine, that you don't need them, but deep down, you know that's a lie. You've tied your worth to someone else's attention. You've built your peace on unstable ground, on affection that can vanish in an instant. But what if love wasn't meant to consume you? What if true connection didn't demand that you lose yourself in the process? This is the Stoic's Guide to Modern Relationships, an antidote to emotional chaos, a way to love deeply without becoming dependent. Section 1. The Trap of Emotional Dependence. In the age of constant connection, we've mistaken closeness for wholeness. We cling to others as if their presence validates our existence. We chase texts, attention, and approval like oxygen. But the Stoics warned about this centuries ago. Epictetus said, "When you kiss your child or your friend, remember that you are kissing a mortal." He didn't mean you shouldn't love. He meant you should remember what love truly is, a temporary, sacred connection between two individuals, not a merger of souls. When you love someone, you don't possess them. You meet them, you witness them, you share your time with them, but you never own them. The modern mind can't stand this truth. It wants certainty, permanence, and validation. But real love is not ownership. It's vulnerability without control. We think we crave intimacy, but what we often want is escape from loneliness, from ourselves. So we chase relationships not to share our completeness, but to hide our emptiness. And that's where suffering begins. Section 2. Nietzsche and the Shadow of Love. Nietzsche once said, "It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages." We enter relationships hoping to be healed, not to grow. We treat love like a drug, a temporary high that numbs the ache of being human. But love in its truest form is not about comfort. It's about confrontation with ourselves. The Stoics believed that every emotion, even love, must pass through the filter of reason, not cold detachment, but awareness. To love rationally is not to love less, it's to love with clarity. Imagine two pillars holding up a roof. If one leans too much on the other, both collapse. That's what happens when you lose yourself in someone else. You crush the relationship under the weight of your need. Love should be two strong pillars, standing independently, yet carrying something sacred together. Section 3. Plato's lesson, the myth of the other half. Plato gave us one of the most romantic and dangerous ideas in history, the notion of the soulmate. According to his myth, humans were once whole beings, split in half by the gods, condemned to wander the earth searching for their missing piece. It's a beautiful story and a terrible philosophy for living, because it teaches us that we're incomplete until someone completes us. It tells us that happiness lies in another person, and when we believe that, love turns into dependency. But the Stoics and later thinkers like Marcus Aurelius would tell you something radical. You were never half of anything. You are already whole. The right relationship doesn't make you whole. It allows you to share your wholeness. Section 4. The Stoic Mirror. Seeing yourself through detachment. One of the greatest Stoic lessons is detachment, not as indifference, but as self-possession. To be detached doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care freely. It means your peace is not held hostage by someone else's choices. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you apply this to relationships, it becomes, you have power over your love, not over how it is returned. That's the line between healthy love and emotional slavery. Detachment allows you to love without fear, because when you no longer fear losing someone, your love becomes purer, free from manipulation, anxiety, or control. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't cling, you choose. Section 5. The psychology of attachment. Modern psychology echoes what the Stoics already knew. Attachment can be both a source of strength and suffering. When our early relationships were insecure, when love felt conditional or unstable, we carry that wound into adulthood. We begin to equate intensity with connection. We confuse emotional chaos with passion. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes what feels like deep love is just your nervous system replaying an old wound. You're not in love with them. You're addicted to the emotional pattern they trigger. To break this, you must become aware. You must pause when the urge to chase arises. Ask yourself, am I loving them or am I trying to fill something inside me? Because the more you depend on others for your sense of worth, the less you actually have to give. Section 6. Machiavelli's realism in love. Machiavelli wasn't known for romance, but his understanding of human nature applies here. He believed people act out of self-interest, even in love. That sounds cynical, but it's liberating if understood correctly. You can't control someone else's motives. You can't guarantee their loyalty. But you can choose to remain principled even when others are not. A Stoic doesn't love blindly. They love consciously. They don't fall, they stand in love. They understand that affection is a gift, not an investment expecting a return. So when betrayal or loss comes, it hurts, but it doesn't destroy them, because their peace was never outsourced. Section 7. The art of loving without losing yourself. To love without losing yourself means to hold your center, to stay grounded even in intimacy. It means saying, I choose you, but I do not need you to make me whole. It's walking beside someone, not beneath them. It's being strong enough to let them go if love turns into dependence. You stop performing to be loved. You stop molding yourself into who they want you to be. You learn to show up as your authentic self, even if that means they might leave. Because anything gained through self-abandonment will eventually destroy you. The Stoics would remind you, peace is internal, not relational. Love becomes beautiful only when it is chosen, not when it is clung to. Section 8. The quiet power of solitude. There's a kind of strength that only solitude can teach you. When you learn to sit with your loneliness, to make peace with your own mind, you become untouchable. Bonhoeffer once said, "Let him who cannot be alone beware of community." Because those who cannot be alone will use others to escape themselves. They will call it love, but it's fear in disguise. When you find contentment in your own company, love becomes a bonus, not a necessity. You stop taking from love and start giving through it. Section 9. The Stoic Practice. How to love wisely. Reflect before you react. When conflict arises, don't rush to defend or accuse. Observe your emotions. Ask, is this about them or something unresolved in me? Detach without withdrawing. Stay open, but remember your peace is your responsibility. Love as service, not transaction. Give without expecting, and you'll never feel robbed. Remember impermanence. Everything changes, and that includes relationships. Cherish, but do not cling. Return to yourself daily. Through journaling, silence, or meditation, remind yourself who you are beyond the roles you play. Section 10. Closing reflection. Love as freedom. In the end, Stoicism doesn't teach us to love less. It teaches us to love better. It teaches us that real love is not fusion, it's freedom. It's saying, I see you as you are. I love you as you are, and I will not lose myself trying to keep you. Because love is not meant to imprison us, it's meant to awaken us. When you master the art of loving without attachment, you discover a strange paradox. You love more deeply, not less. You become more generous, not guarded. You are no longer a slave to your emotions. You are their master. And that's when love becomes what it was always meant to be. Not a search for complete